Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. My name's Roger. I've been married to Olivia for 9 years. We've got 2 kids. Max is 7 and Ellie just turned 4. On paper, we looked good. Nice house outside Portland, decent careers, never missed a mortgage payment. But if you were paying attention, and I started to, something had shifted. It started small. Olivia stopped sitting next to me on the couch. Texts that used to say, "Love you," became "K." She was working late more often. Said her marketing team had picked up a new client and deadlines were tighter. Fair enough. But one Thursday, I called her office just to hear her voice. Her coworker said she'd left early. That one stuck with me. Another night, I walked past the bedroom and heard her laughing, real, full laughing, through her phone. She didn't notice I was there. I didn't ask who it was. I didn't want to become the paranoid husband. But I started watching, quietly. The next weekend, we went to a barbecue at our neighbor Sam's place. Olivia stayed glued to her phone the whole time. When I said, "Everything okay?" she smiled without looking up and said, "Yeah, just work stuff." Sam pulled me aside later. "You and Olivia doing all right?" he asked. "Yeah. Why?" "She just seems somewhere else. That's all." That was the first time someone else confirmed what I was already feeling. The moment that sealed it for me was a Tuesday night. Olivia was asleep, phone on the nightstand. I never go through her stuff. But that night, something pushed me. I picked up her phone and carefully pressed her thumb against the fingerprint sensor. It unlocked. I didn't even need to search. A preview message lit up on the screen. "Dylan, thinking about last weekend. Can't stop smiling." I tapped on it, but when I tried to open the messaging app, it asked for a passcode. She'd locked the app separately. Smart, careful, secretive. I put the phone down. My hands weren't shaking. I didn't storm out. I sat in the hallway for 20 minutes, breathing slow. I decided right then. I'd pay attention, watch everything, but I wouldn't react. Not yet. The next morning, Olivia made pancakes. Blueberries for Ellie, just how she likes them. She acted like nothing was wrong. I watched her pour coffee, humming some song I didn't recognize. I didn't say a word about the message. Instead, I waited 2 more days. Friday night, after the kids were asleep, I told her I needed to talk. "In the kitchen," I said, and sat down at the table. She joined me with her arms folded. "What's going on?" she asked. I looked her straight in the eyes. "Are you seeing someone?" There was a long pause. Her face didn't register surprise, just quiet tension. "I don't know what you mean," she said carefully. I didn't raise my voice. "I saw a message from Dylan." She didn't answer right away. Then she leaned back and exhaled. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." "We're just talking," she said, brushing her hair behind her ear. "It's emotional, okay? I needed someone to talk to. It's not physical." "But it could have been." Silence. "How long?" "5 months," she whispered. I nodded. "Is this why you've been pulling away from me?" She looked away. "I haven't felt like your wife in a long time, Roger. You've been checked out. Always working, always tired. I needed something different. And you found it in Dylan." "I didn't plan for this to happen," she said. "He just gets me. I can talk to him. I feel seen." I didn't say anything for a while. Then I asked one question. "Are you willing to end it?" She hesitated. "I don't know. I need time." "No," I said calmly. "You don't get time. You made a choice. So did I." She stood up. "You're being dramatic." "No, I'm being clear." She walked upstairs without another word. That night, I moved into the guest room. I didn't sleep. Not because I was angry, because I was planning. The next morning, I made breakfast for the kids like it was any other Saturday. Pancakes, orange juice, cartoons. Olivia came downstairs eventually, avoided my eyes, and muttered a soft, "Morning." I nodded. Nothing more. That afternoon, while she took Ellie to ballet, I made 3 calls. First was to a family law attorney named Marcus Grant, referred by a coworker who'd quietly gone through his own divorce last year. Marcus was calm, professional, and didn't sugarcoat anything. "You need to protect yourself," he said, "especially financially. Don't confront her anymore. Just start documenting." Second was to a therapist, for me. I knew if I didn't get my head straight, I'd start reacting instead of leading. Third was to my brother Nathan. I needed someone who could watch the kids on short notice if things blew up. That night, Olivia and I talked, again after the kids were asleep. I'm not going to fight you, I told her, but I need to know. Are you ending it with Dylan or not? She looked frustrated. You're trying to corner me. No, I'm giving you a clear choice. You can't have both. If he means that much to you, I won't stop you. But I'm not staying married to someone with one foot out the door. I just need to say goodbye properly, she said. For closure. Closure? I raised an eyebrow. That sounds like an excuse to see him again. I'm not trying to be sneaky, she said, voice rising. You're just being controlling. I stood up. If I'm controlling for expecting my wife to cut off the man she cheated on me with, then I guess that's what I am. She stared at me, tight-lipped. Look, I continued, voice steady. If you want to be with him, just say so. Pack a bag and go. I'll figure out the rest. She didn't go, not that night. But something in her changed, and something in me hardened. For a couple weeks, things were functional. Olivia agreed to cut things off with Dylan, said she texted him goodbye and blocked his number. She showed me the message. I watched her delete his contact. I wanted to believe it. But people who lie once usually lie again. One night, about 10 days later, I walked into the laundry room and saw her phone sitting on top of the dryer, lit up. I didn't plan to check it, but the name on the notification made my stomach flip. Dylan. Miss you. That song you sent me? Still thinking about it. The contact name had been changed to D-client work. I walked upstairs, phone in hand. She was brushing her teeth. You still talking to him? I asked. She saw the phone, paused. That message came through, old. It's not recent. I turned the screen toward her. He's texting in real time. Want to tell me again how this ended? She shut off the faucet. It's not that simple, Roger. He's helped me through a lot. No, what's not simple is raising two kids while their mother carries on a side relationship and lies to my face. I said, I'm sorry. You're not sorry. You're caught. The next morning, I had the divorce papers served. I timed it after she dropped Ellie off at preschool. My lawyer said it was better that way. Less risk of a scene with the kids around. That night, our son Max, sharp as ever, asked, Why are you sleeping in the guest room again? I sat him down. Sometimes grown-ups don't agree on everything, but we still love you and your sister. That's never going to change. He nodded slowly. Is Mom in trouble? Nobody, but we're figuring out some tough stuff. Later that night, Olivia said, You didn't have to humiliate me. I looked her in the eye. You had your chance to be honest. This is the result. She didn't argue. I didn't waste time feeling sorry for myself. I started waking up at 5:30 a.m., lifted weights in the garage before the kids got up, accepted a promotion I'd been avoiding. Not because I couldn't do it, just didn't have the headspace before. Paid off a chunk of the mortgage early. Olivia noticed the changes, but I didn't offer explanations. We were still cohabiting, separate rooms, separate routines, for the kids' sake until the legal side finalized. The arrangement was tense, but civil. We took turns cooking, kept things polite in front of the kids, and communicated through texts even inside the house. No emotion, just logistics. One afternoon, I picked Max up from school. On the ride home, he said, You're happier now. I glanced at him. You think so? Yeah, he said. You laugh more. He was right. I'd started to laugh again, at shows, jokes, little things. Not because I was healed, but because I was no longer in the dark. Meanwhile, Olivia wasn't glowing like someone in love. She looked worn out, distracted. She started coming home later and didn't talk about where she was. I didn't ask. I didn't care. But I knew one thing. If Dylan was still around, he hadn't stepped up. Not publicly, anyway. One night while folding laundry, she said, You know the kids are doing okay because of me, right? I folded a shirt. They're doing okay because they've got two parents who love them, and one of them hasn't been lying for 6 months. She didn't respond. I kept going to therapy, pushed harder at the gym, added 10 pounds of muscle. I didn't touch dating apps. I didn't flirt. I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. People started to notice. Coworkers, friends. Even Olivia's sister Claire, who I ran into at the grocery store, said, You look different. Better. Thanks, I said, bagging apples. I feel better. I meant it. I was winning quietly, and she could feel it. Our son's 8th birthday was coming up. Olivia and I had agreed. Separate celebrations. I'd host mine the weekend before. She could do hers on the actual day. Mine was simple. Backyard games, a cake, close friends and family. Max had a blast. Told me it was the best day ever. That was enough for me. 3 days later, I found out from Claire that Dylan was coming to Olivia's party. It was being held at her parents' place, the same backyard Olivia grew up in. I didn't react, just nodded. "She didn't tell you?" Claire asked. "No," I said. "She didn't." Claire looked uneasy. "Thought you should know." I didn't say a thing to Olivia. Didn't argue. Just made a plan. That Saturday, I was out running errands and decided to stop by around 10 a.m., 2 hours before the party was set to start. The kids were already inside with their grandparents for the morning. I walked around the side of the house and found Olivia and Dylan setting up balloons. The moment she saw me, her face froze. Dylan went stiff, holding a stack of paper plates like they were radioactive. "Roger," she said, voice tight. "You weren't supposed to be here." "I'm not staying," I said calmly, handing over Max's wrapped gift. "Just dropping this off." And I wanted to say hello. Dylan tried to smile. "Hey, man." I looked at him like I was seeing through him. "Enjoy the party." I turned to Olivia. "Don't use our son's birthday to parade your new guy, especially when half your family doesn't even know the full story." She looked away. "You don't understand." "No," I said. "I do. You just thought I wouldn't show. That's on you." I walked out the way I came in. That afternoon, I went hiking, cleared my head. My phone buzzed. Olivia asking me to come back. Said Max would miss me. I didn't reply. Later that night, Max called. "Thanks for the gift, Dad. It was awesome." "Glad you liked it, buddy." He didn't mention the party. Neither did I. I had made my point. 2 weeks later, the divorce was finalized. I signed the paperwork on a Thursday morning and drove straight to my new place, a modest 2-bedroom house a few blocks from the one I used to share with Olivia. Quiet street, fenced yard, space to breathe. I set up Max and Ellie's rooms first. Posters, blankets, nightlights. Made it feel like home before they even walked in. When they did, Max said, "This is cool," and Ellie hugged her stuffed unicorn like it was Christmas. That night, we made pizza, watched a movie, and laughed like it was the most normal thing in the world. Meanwhile, Olivia tried to keep contact beyond co-parenting. She texted photos of the kids outside our agreed schedule, asked if I needed help furnishing the house, mentioned holidays. I kept it short, polite, cold. Once, she said, "We don't have to hate each other." I didn't answer. Another time, she stood on the porch during a kid handoff and said, "You know, I still care about you." I looked her in the eye. "You cared about control. You lost it." She never said it again. Dylan? He never made a real appearance after the birthday. From what I heard, they fizzled, slowly, quietly, like a match burned down to the fingers. People around town stopped asking questions. They knew, or at least enough of it. Claire stayed friendly. Even her dad, who once gave me the cold shoulder, shook my hand at Ellie's school recital. 6 months out, I'd found rhythm. Morning workouts, steady work, dinner with the kids, nights alone that didn't feel lonely. And one Saturday, while clearing leaves off the patio, Max looked up and said, "You don't get mad anymore." I smiled. "Is that good or bad?" He shrugged. "I don't know. Just feels better." I didn't need revenge. I didn't need drama. I had my peace, my kids, and my future. Olivia once said she didn't feel like my wife anymore. She was right, and I'm damn glad she's not. Thank you for watching.